We're about 10 games into the season now for each NBA team, so we're starting to get a general idea of who the top teams are in each conference. One team that was expected to be good coming into this season, but has even surpassed those expectations so far, is the Phoenix Suns, who at the time of recording this video, are 7-3 after 10 games and second in the Western Conference, behind only the LA Lakers. The Suns are looking amazing right now, and there's a lot of factors contributing towards this surprisingly elite start. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at the Phoenix Suns' opening stretch of 10 games, the players playing well that has allowed for this start to happen, and discussing why I believe they are a legit title contender for this season. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, please be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to reach 16,000 subscribers by February, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. As I mentioned, the Suns are 7-3 to open their 2021 campaign, and they've beaten some solid teams in that process. Unlike Philadelphia, who have really only beaten average or below average teams thus far, the Suns have taken down the likes of Denver, Dallas, Utah, and Indiana, as well as winning games comfortably that they should win, like they did against Sacramento, Toronto, and New Orleans. The only poor game that the Suns have had so far was against Detroit, where they couldn't really get any shots to fall. They got great looks throughout the game and shots just wouldn't fall for them, and that'll be the case sometimes in the NBA. You have an off game, and that's really all that happened to Phoenix on that night. 99% of the time though this season, Phoenix has looked great, and honestly a lot better out the gate than I thought they would be. I was expecting a slowish start, but they've killed it from the get-go. So for Phoenix fans, this is great to see. But how are they playing so well? What are the players that are dominating right now that has led to this early success? The obvious guy that we have to talk about is Chris Paul. He's made such a huge impact already since arriving in Arizona not that long ago. CP3 has continued his stint as an elite guard in the NBA this season with averages of 13 points and 8 assists. However, his biggest impact continues to come from his leadership. Always on the bench talking to young teammates in how they can improve, as well as being a vocal guy on the court, which as we've seen so far this season is having a major positive impact. Chris Paul doesn't need to take over games offensively like he used to, but he adds so much extra fire to the Suns' offense and defense that he has to be one of their most valuable players so far this season. There's not much else to say here. Chris Paul is consistently great, and he'll be a big reason why they can potentially go on a deep playoff run when that time arrives. Devin Booker is another guy starting to play well in 2021. Booker has had a slow start to this season, shooting at league average and having a small offensive drop-off, but he seems to be finding his rhythm as of late, averaging 24 points in his last 5 games on far better shooting splits. The inspiring thing about this slow start for Booker though is that it hasn't affected the Suns' win rate at all. In previous seasons, the occasional mediocre game from Booker would lead to a loss for Phoenix, but now they don't have to rely on him dropping 40 to stay in games, which proves just how far they've come this offseason. A little while ago, Booker only dropped 8 points in a rough game for him against the Pelicans, yet the Suns still cruised to victory, which as I said, proves how much better they are now compared to last season. As I said though, Booker continues to improve as the season goes on. He's getting into all-star form yet again, but it's also good to see that he doesn't need to be constantly relied on as the sole option on offense as Phoenix becomes more versatile offensively. A player contributing to that new offensive versatility in Phoenix this season is Mikal Bridges, and he's probably my favorite player on the team right now. Bridges is currently in the midst of having a breakout year, averaging 15.2 points and 5 rebounds on amazing shooting splits in 33 minutes of action per game. He's shooting 49% from the field and over 46% from 3, which is just phenomenal. This is a 6-point increase from last season and a 10% increase from behind the arc, proving how much he has developed since the bubble. He had a big 34-point outing in their most recent win over the Indiana Pacers, flashing his offensive potential there too. Arguably, the most valuable asset to his game, however, has to be his defense, and he's been simply excellent in that area so far. He's held Donovan Mitchell to 3 for 10 from the field, Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox for a combined 1 for 8, and held Ingram to only 2 for 4 in 30 possessions, which is amazing if you think about it, considering how much the Pelicans utilize him. What I really want to point out with Bridges today is simply how much better he makes Phoenix with his elite defense and floor spacing. These areas are crucial to Phoenix's success, so the fact he can bring this on a nightly basis is amazing and makes them so scary for other teams to face. Any team would want to have a guy like Bridges, a consistent 3-and-D weapon, so for Phoenix to have him, it really helps their title chances in my opinion. Especially if this level of play he's displayed lately continues to happen. So those are just the 3 guys that I want to talk about today. There are some other players making an impact for the Suns, like Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, though he's been a bit disappointing, and some second unit players, but none of them in my eyes are having as substantial of an impact as Booker, Paul, and particularly Bridges are having right now. Those guys have just been fantastic for the most part, and it's why the Suns are 7-3 right now. With that said though, can the Suns keep this hot start up? Are they legit title contenders? I'm going to answer those questions quickly. Yes, they are legit title contenders, and yes, I do see them maintaining this pace, at least to some degree. It's probable they slowed down, but I think they can continue to win 6 to 7 games for every 10 for the rest of the season. The reason why I'm so confident in this team is mainly due to how it's been put together. They have 2 elite playmaking guards in Paul and Booker, yet both don't need the ball constantly to be effective. Booker in particular, he is one of the league's best off-ball players. Both of these guys can consistently create their own shot too, and are extremely effective with that skill, which in the slowed down pace of the playoffs will be incredibly important to their postseason success. With fantastic 3-and-D role players in guys like Bridges and Crowder, Paul and Booker will be even more effective with the fantastic spacing they can provide, as well as taking some of the heat off of those stars defensively. Overall, the team Phoenix has built over this offseason has been constructed perfectly, and with their system could be even deadlier in the playoffs. On paper, this doesn't seem like a regular season only core. This is a side that looks legitimately threatful to steal the crown of the NBA come playoff time. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see if that is the case, but as for right now, I'm optimistic about their post-season chances. But overall, these are my thoughts on the Phoenix Suns. I am a huge fan of their main core of players, particularly Mikal Bridges. He has been showing out lately, and the 2 main stars of the team in Booker and CP3 have been brilliant also. The main reason why I view them as a proper title contender has to do with the fit and build of the team. All the players mesh together so nicely that it's made them a lot better than people anticipated, including myself, coming out of the gate. If I had to compare them to other top Western Conference teams, I'd have to place them 3rd right now, only behind the Clippers and Lakers, but definitely above squads like the Mavericks, Nuggets, and Warriors. The team has looked sharp from the get-go, and to put them below an inconsistent side like the Nuggets would be disrespectful. At the end of the day though, it has only been 10 games, there's still a lot of time left in the season, so I don't want to overreact. But the Suns are looking incredible early on, and are ready to continue to prove people wrong all season long. This has been a surprising yet brilliant start for the Phoenix Suns, and I cannot wait to see what is next. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? How good are the Phoenix Suns to you? Are they legit title contenders in your books? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.
Hey, Mobs, that sounds wavy.